Hey, what's going on, everyone? Kioboomdiekin. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at Phantom Fireworks' sale and flyer for the 2025 4th of July season. As you guys know, if you are in a safe and sane state like either California, Las Vegas, Nevada, and several other states, you will have a number of different sponsored booths popping up all around the country. So some of those will obviously be TNT and Phantom Fireworks. And just as a side note, you do see a lot of law enforcement out there right now telling people don't shoot illegal fireworks, use TNT and Phantom. But guys, let's keep in mind, we all know that they have aerials and other fireworks, especially TNT. They have a number of different booths scattered throughout the Southwest that tailor to aerial fireworks, not just the safe and sane ones. So let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll see what kind of prices we have today. Again, we're going to look at everything that they have here for the 2025 season. I'm also going to give you some of my personal recommendations in terms of the pricing. We all know some of these stores, they got to make their profit or whatever the case might be, but are they going to be reasonable for what you should be paying at the booth? So let's take a look at it. You know what time it is. All right, so we have a flyer here from Phantom Fireworks 2025. We have our super sale right in time for the 4th of July season. And so as I quickly peruse through this, looking at a number of different fountains, a number of different assortments, first off, I can tell you that all the prices here look somewhat reasonable if you're going to go to your standard booth. Now, obviously, for most of you who shop at other stores, you have different options, but these prices aren't too bad if you're just looking to shop at the booth. If you want to support the cheerleaders, the local volleyball team, or one of the churches, the nonprofits, because they do get a portion of this money from the money they get a portion of the money from the money you spend at the booth. And so we'll take a look at all of these here. But I don't see anything that's really a red flag. I mean, pretty much all these prices look at where they typically would be, especially considering the past 11 years or even more than that I've been shopping at TNT and Phantom Firework booths for the past several years. So starting out with the front cover, you have your super sale right in time for your 4th of July season 2025. We have some of the same items here. We have your entry level fountains at around $30 to about $24. Personally, I prefer all of the 500 grammers. They're obviously the cliche, more bang for your buck, because it gives you a longer duration. Like me personally, it's better to spend more money on some of the bigger fireworks because it'll give you more for your money. It gives you a longer show. Some of these other lower end fireworks, I mean, they're cool for what they are for little kids. If you just really want to just get a different effect, they're fine. But sometimes $25 for some of these, if they don't give you the effect, you leave disappointed because you spent money on it, but the duration wasn't there. So that's just typically my take. $18.99 for some of these lower entry fountains here. We got $25 here for the BOGO. We got a BOGO here, $99 each. I personally don't think that some of these here should deserve a BOGO. Like the Coral Reef, I would think that's more of like a $45 type fountain right there. So I do believe this particular one here is overpriced. It's not a 500 grammer. If it was 500 grammer, obviously I know, compared to some of the stores that I also visit, it's $50 more. It's a little bit pricier, but, again, they got to do what they got to do to make their money. So you buy one, you get one free. So, okay, you know what? That's not too bad here. You buy one, you get one free with one of these units, because honestly, a fountain of this type, like the Coral Reef, would typically sell for about $35 at some of the dedicated stores that you go to. So that's not too bad if you're just buying one and you're getting the second one free. We have the Iron Eagle and we have the Phantom Double Punch, $89 each. Maybe a little bit on the pricey side, but the Iron Eagle I think is okay. The only thing I can't see here is that it doesn't list this by the grams, like 500 grammer, 250, and so forth down here. So, that's kind of remains to be seen. I did see this at the booth, but, I really have to see the effect on this to really make a informed decision. You have your Phantom Pixie Dust. fountain. You have your Funky Monkey red, white, and blue, $39.99. You have your Phantom Pixie Dust as well. Each one's $39.99. And then, of course, I do believe that this one here would be a better buy for you because this one's currently at $40, but it is a buy one, get one free. So equivalently, that is $20 each. Dragon's Tear Fountain, $49.99. Again, we have a lot of noticeable favorites that we've seen here over the past few years. Dragon's Tears Fountain H045 is another fountain. And then, of course, we have the Storm Runner. And then, of course, we have this little fairy metal flower here. Buy one, get one free. So, again, that comes out to $20 each for these particular bundles. One of the noticeable favorites. This one's pretty cool. I have a video on this one here. This is the Fiery Frog. I bought one of these about 10 years ago. They're pretty cool. So you guys are getting a nice deal on that for about $34. Obviously at the store, they'd be a little bit, a lot less. But, at the booth, I think that's a reasonable price compared to what they've had for the past several years. Moving on to some of our other novelties here. I haven't seen one of these before. Maybe they've been there. Maybe I've kind of overlooked them. But I do believe this is one, I wouldn't say like in the past 3 or 4 years, but having a sword type fountain, a sword type firework at Phantom is kind of new for their booths. I mean, typically you see these kind of stuff in the store, but it looks like these are new to the booths this year. You can get this right now for $12.99, which honestly isn't too bad. You have a bunch of smoke balls here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, $3.99, $3.99. Then, of course, you have this Colossal for $12.99. Personally, I'd probably go with this one. The first time I shot off smoke balls was back in the mid-90s, and those had some pretty good durations to it, but I think they've kind of fallen off in the past few years, but I would go with something like this. Get a nice little Colossal. This makes for a really good show. You mix these with some of those little strobe lights that come inside the assortment packs. Makes for a really nice little cool show if you're going to do it that way. Tornado Ground Spinners. Then we have our magical Snake Assist. If you guys remember the classic snakes, always gotta love those. Crack the Whip. Strobe Sticks. We have our smoke balls again. Moon Dance. Ground Bloom. These are all items here listed for under $13. So if you guys are just looking to have a good fun time, you could manage your money under $13. We got Phantom Confetti Lights, $5.99. $10.99, and then of course we have our Phantom Dragon Slayer Fountain down here. So each one of these are under $13. That's pretty cool. So at least you have an idea, 13, 13, and 13 to kind of build a show. So that's a really good idea. Then of course you have your Morning Glory. I believe these should be your sparklers here for your Morning Glories. They just have them packed a little differently. And then of course you have your tank. So these are pretty cool to light during the earlier parts of your show for for little kids. And again, you grown adults, maybe you guys aren't interested in stuff like this, but if you are a little kid and you're buying, or your parent, you're looking for fireworks, and these are all pretty much safe. Now typically these aren't the ones that'll go boom or would be accidentally overloaded. I have seen some safe and sane fireworks that have been accidentally overloaded, but those were typically like your 500-gram fountains. Over here we have an assortment pack. I think this is a pretty nice pack for what you're getting. $109.99. I don't remember a time frame where I would have seen an assortment pack like this with Phantom this low. That's bundled together pretty nicely with the number of pieces that comes with it. So I do think that is reasonably priced for what they have here. We have our Phantom Chamber Sparks. I think this is reasonably priced for what you're getting, $74.99. And then, of course, we have our little assortment packs here for $39.99, $65 if bought separately, so you get that bundle pack. So a lot of the stores typically have this, like your Red Apples and actual Phantom fireworks stores and other ones so forth. But these are nice little bags for the kids because the kids also get a nice little cool backpack with it. So when you're done shooting your fireworks, you could take this little compartment, this little backpack, and use it for some other things, possibly even maybe school, and their school items. Backyard Jubilee, $500. I've never personally bought in a pack like this expensive at TNT or a Phantom firework booth, but it is nice to know that they are bundling everything together to kind of give you a better deal. $725 is bought separately, so $300 off, and I'm sure this price is still marked up. So, but yeah, eh, it is what it is. You know, I think it is a little bit overpriced, but I think it's okay with the amount of items that they do have in there. All right, next we have your backyard barrage assortment for $289, $259 for the Phantom Firework Blast. One of the things I have noticed though is that Phantom has kind of dropped their prices. Typically, you would have some that are $300, $400, and so forth, but it looks like they have a number of different sizes and for assortments that are well within the same price range. So you're not spending too much more money for going with the different option. But I do like to kind of see this combination where they give you a different assortment of stuff, roughly for about the same price, but you get more items by the piece within the package. As you can see here, Phantom has this listed for $470, but you're getting it on sale for $259.99. So that's a pretty fair offer there. Assortment's $289. This is normally valued at $335. Assortment packs. And then, of course, we have our Phantom Monstrous. You get all of your crazy fountains that are listed in there. Again, please go, my personal thing is go with the bigger ones because it gives you that longer duration so that way you can freely enjoy your show. $159 for the assortment pack, $275 if you bought all of these units individually. And, of course, that is kind of with a marked up rate as well because they do mark up those prices. And then, of course, over here we have... Over here we have our Phantom Celebration, $29.99, $54.99. These are very small, so personally I would go with one of the other offers here, so that way you're not really wasting money, but I do think this is kind of fair for some of the lower grade stuff. Over here we have our $1,400 pack, but it's valued or on sale right now for $899. And so those are pretty much the offers that you're getting right now with Phantom. And so you have a number of different assortments here. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So you have a little bit around 25 different items kind of packed together. The only disappointing part that I don't like about these assortments, just kind of looking at them, is they don't give you a 500 grammer to kind of go with it. You know, like if you get a big assortment like this, you want to have something like your final show, which we'll look at here in just a moment. But you know what, looking at this, they don't even have everything on their flyer. Oh my god, this is pathetic. All right, 500 Grammy finale fountain set. So again, they do each booth has additional items. Do not let this flyer be your end all be all in terms of what the booth has to offer. You guys have seen this video here at the beginning of the video, but they still have your grand finale. They do have a number of different fountain finales that are at the booth, but they're not listed here on this particular flyer. Now, if you do use the Phantom app in order to look at some of the fireworks, then you can see a little bit more of what they have. All right, so for $99 each, you have your Komodo 3000 fountain. And for $89 each, you have your Apache Fire Dance Premiere. Then, of course, down here you have your Phantom Crown Jewel. So you do have those items there. For number $29.99, we also have our Cosmic Velocity, Galactic Radiance, Electric Manipulation, Nova Blast, and Beaming Lights. Phantom Hero Series, we have a number of different items here, but this is pretty much kind of rounding out the additional items they have here. But I'm really disappointed in the fact that they do not have some of the more premier items that they've carried for the past several years on this flyer. I know they have them there. I know they have them at the booth. You guys can see it here in the video. But they have more items at the booth than they do listed here, especially some of the ones that are more well-known. I would have personally left out some of the little smaller stuff like the smokes because I think that's pretty much a given in my opinion. However, some of their bigger finale sets, and Phantom has kind of changed some of their products for the past few years, but they need to show that consistency. I would have actually left them in there. And then, of course, I would have also showcased and left the assortment packs like they already have it. But they should have left some of their old-time classics in here just to give that reassurance to people that they still have those items. So that about wraps up my review. I'm just kind of going through the flyer here for the 2025 4th of July season for Phantom Fireworks. Again, you guys can scan the the QR code. I don't even think they have one here. You guys can scan the QR code if you guys go directly to their website. They will have some additional options, but again, each booth has additional stuff not listed here. So this is not even a complete review or fully walkthrough of all their products because they just left it at, you know, this. But I'm just really glad they have a flyer because I know a few years ago, especially during COVID, they didn't print out anything. You just had to use your cell phone to access an app and see everything that they did have. So it was a little bit more time consuming, but I always like to personally have a flyer so I can compare prices. So with that being said, like and subscribe. I will catch you guys later. Let me know what your thoughts are about these particular prices. I'll probably do a follow-up, and I will have some more information about some of the other firework booths in the city. So stay tuned, and I will catch you later. Peace out. Bye-bye.